Hello and welcome to the February 2022 Adopt a Dolphin e-update. I'm Charlie Phillips. This month I'm going to let you know extra ways that I can identify your adopted dolphin, as well as the normal highly accurate dorsal fin photo identification method while I'm out and about working with my cameras, whether working from land or from a boat. Spirit is a slightly tricky dolphin to identify if you don't see her very distinctive dorsal fin. Her face and body have very few instantly recognisable markings, as she looks like most other dolphins, but her fin is great. It has two notches, or nicks as we call them, made by bite marks from other dolphins in the past, and she has a fairly new big light coloured scratch running down her fin near the rear edge. Spirit has a lovely face, as you can see in this sunny shot here, but it isn't very often that she comes alongside the boat nicely to let me see her full head and face. It's often at a funny angle, like in this photo, so not easy to say 100% sometimes that it's her, and I have to try and look for her fin somehow, somewhere. Photos like this one are easy. She's surfacing alongside big ID 907, one of the big males with a lot of damage on his fin. But in this shot, she's furthest from the camera, and you have to look past the other dolphins to actually see her. Thankfully, enough of her markings are present there to say that it's her. Sadly, I don't have many photos of her breaching right out of the water, as she doesn't do this aerial activity very often, and she's so quick it can be really tricky to get anything at all. Rainbow is a good bit easier to identify quickly. Apart from a larger notch on the rear edge of her dorsal fin and a couple of tiny other ones just above it, visible from both sides and easily seen even in silhouette, she also has some light coloured rake marks made by other dolphins' teeth on her dorsal fin, but it's her face that's very different from most other local dolphins. As you can maybe see in this photo, her eyelids are getting very grey, possibly a sign of age, and her top jaw, unlike most other bottlenose dolphins, is slightly longer than her lower jaw. You can see it in the photo, and you might notice a young silvery coloured dolphin beside her that has the same jaw shape. That's Indigo, one of Rainbow's sons when he was young, and he shares the same jaw configuration as his mum. It looks like a family trait. Rainbow doesn't jump out of the water very often, but she is more active when she's hunting, like she is here, and she's brilliant at catching fish and teaching her youngsters this important life skill. And even when she's really active and busy, you can make out her distinctive face and fin just to be sure that it's her. Rainbow's younger son Indigo has a few features that make him stand out from the crowd, but you need sharp eyes sometimes and a bit of practice. His dorsal fin is fairly big, but nowadays it helpfully has a small nick or notch in the middle of the rear edge, which is something that he's picked up from fighting with other dolphins. His body is nowadays quite scratched too, much more than this earlier shot of him breaching right out of the water. And in this photo from last season, you can see Indigo, furthest from the camera, with a huge set of black coloured scratch marks up near his head. His buddy Charlie is alongside him, and he has some lighter scratches too. Another good way of telling Indigo's fin is that it has a slight twist to it. It bends over a bit to his left-hand side, and it isn't quite straight, and it wobbles as he swims along near the surface. He has a lovely, slightly goofy expression, especially when he's playing with his food, and he always looks happy. The higher he jumps, the happier he looks. Charlie's dorsal fin has a lot of small nicks down the rear edge, as well as some scratches on the skin that are normally light in colour, and he's easily identified by his fin. His whole body has darkened down a lot in the last few years, but he has also quite a distinctive face. It's a bit scratched in places and has light colouring above his eyes and quite a gracile face really, a bit like his mum Keslet, and his top jaw, seen from certain angles, is quite blunt and square shaped. His habit of spy hopping and his close inspection of boats is really useful for getting close-up pictures, and I've rarely seen a dolphin who makes such a song and dance about having caught a fish. You would think he was trying for an Oscar. It's hilarious to watch, and it's been a privilege watching him grow up to adulthood. Well, that's all from me this month. Until next time, thanks for your support, and bye for now.